The Fight is Fixed. And she is doctorate, has a doctorate in ministry. She's a therapist. She is a strategy mogul. I know, right? Right? Strategy mogul. He's like, is it? Is it? Absolutely. Please help me bring to this Word Up Wednesday platform the Reverend Dr. Joy P. Creel. Let's bring her in.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. You know, I'm on the go, but I am here. I am here. Good
Good
morning. Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning. And like I said, she can be found all over the internet, and she is again the fight is fixed. And I caught her one morning, and I said, "Ooh, ooh, 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 ooh," but I was like, "Wow, bring it, bring it, bring it!" And so, Reverend Dr. Joy P. Creel, again, welcome to Word Up Wednesday.
Good morning. Good morning, Jesse. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
And so, what I appreciate about you is you are always ready, and then being always ready, ready to. The Bible talks about be ye also ready to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
a word, to give an encouragement, to be used. And so I personally appreciate that and thank you for that over and over and over and over.
Oh, well, listen, I'm always excited to do what God has me to do. Even when I don't want to do it, there's an excitement that comes with it. And I can't sit here and say, like, I always want to do it. But I will say that I'm always excited to do it once I get, past myself and all the things. So thank you so much for having me.
And
Thank you.
thank you for coming here after you've had a full morning. Like I said, a lot of people do in the morning before 8, what we do all day. That would be
Uh-huh.
probably Dr. Joy. That would probably be Dr. Joy. She has that kind of life and schedule. And so I wanted to have you come today because we have some exciting news and we have some exciting opportunities for folks. Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Joy has written a book called um, Leveraging Hope. Hope has been her piece. It's been mine too, because everything that God has done in my life, coming back to Jacksonville, has been around hope. And so her book is called Leveraging Hope. And so
Leveraging hope.
and so we're going to tell you, she's going to put up how you can get copies. But if you are in the Jacksonville area, we want you to stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. We got an announcement at the end. So you don't want to leave before you hear the announcement. But welcome, welcome, welcome. And so, Dr. Joy, tell us a little bit about how you came to this place, part of the process that God used to get you here, and how he made you his scribe.
How did I get to this place? Truthfully, sometimes I say things like I don't know how I got here because like in some ways I would have chosen some different paths, right? But I believe that my heart, not I believe, my heart has been for what God wants for me or what God wants in general. And so because that's my heart, like when God gives me an assignment, then I do the assignment. And this book was literally me co-partnering with God. And when I say co-partnering with God, I mean co-partnering with God as Abba, who is my father. Really re-examining my relationship with him and really listening to how he wanted it to be presented. So it was not, let me just say this, it was not in my own strength by any means. It was not even initially, it was not even by my own desire. Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to talk about initially it was not even by my own desire. I would have gone another way. And as a strategist,
Mm-hmm.
strategy is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So keep on
Yeah.
going.
And so here's the thing. I never wanted to write a book. I never was like, oh, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book. I never wanted to write a book because for a lot of reasons, for my own reasons, for my own, some of my own insecurities, some of my own self-talk, some of my own, like you name it. Yeah, no, I didn't want to write a book because writing a book meant a few different things. Um, and I'll tell you 3 reasons why I didn't want to write a book, okay? Because it meant responsibility. Once this goes out,
Mm.
once people get this in their hands, there's a level of responsibility that comes with what was said inside of this book.
Ooh, come on now.
If even one person reads it, there's a level of responsibility that comes with it. I never wanted that level of responsibility. I'm just being honest, okay? Like, I don't want that responsibility on my hand, on my heads, whatever. You get what I'm saying? So there's a level of responsibility, number one. Number two, the other reason that I didn't want to write a book is because in my mind, and let me talk about my own self-talk, and just because of the fad of writing books. Books in some ways have become writing fad. Like, not saying, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but this was my thought behind it. Everybody writes a book. And not, okay, we know everybody doesn't write books, right? However, a lot of people write books, and I'm like, nope, don't want to. So much so that even when I published my dissertation, I only published it I did the online platforms that I had to do to make my dissertation public for research purposes. I didn't want to write a book. Most people, like many people, turn their dissertation into some form of a book or things like that. I didn't want to write a book. I didn't want to. And three, it costs, it's work. It costs you money, it costs you time, it costs you energy, all of those things. And it just seemed hard, right? And when I say hard, like, I got to sit down and do it. And I wasn't gonna, anything I do, I'm not a half stepper. So I knew for sure that I was gonna have to put time and effort into it. And listen, the reality is, and I'll tell anybody, and this is not so much a brag as it's me being aware of who I am. Baby, I like flying under the radar. I do. I like to be in the background and all of those kinds of things. But when God gave me the word to write, that it was time to write a book, I was like, oh, mm-mm. Then he confirmed the word with somebody just randomly. And I was like, okay, fine. Because here's the thing that God knows about me is that when he tells me something to do, and I believe that is something that he told me to do, I'm going to do it. So I didn't even fight him. I was like, okay, help me write this book, Lord. And we wrote it in 10 days.
Wow. In 10 days. So talk about, you told me about you had gone to a platform or something about writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that and how that was a part of your process.
So initially, a couple of years ago, I actually hired a book coach a few years ago. And I didn't really want to write the book then, and nothing came of it because I didn't want to do it. And it was me, again, moving in my own strength. So that was just wasted money. And to this day, like, I just need to tell him thank you, because he just, he held space for me in that space. But again, it wasn't something that I wanted to do, so I didn't move in it. So that was years ago. And so this year, when it came, I linked with somebody who could hold me accountable, and I, just pushed those chapters out. Like, it was that. So that was how that kind of worked. When it was time, it moved the way that God wanted it to move.
Wow. What has been the biggest learning lesson that you have in this process from writing to getting it published to what is your, and I'm gonna ask you the next question. What is your wildest dream? So go first with your process and then your wildest dream. I didn't see that coming.
So my biggest lesson would probably be for, like, me to, recognize that there is potential for setbacks in the timeline. I think my biggest learning lesson was it's gonna happen when God wants it to happen. And maybe not even learning lesson, but it was my biggest patience space, is that it's gonna happen when God says that it's gonna happen. Yeah, so that was probably my biggest. Go ahead.
So no, how do you work through that place, that setback place? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, you're fine. How do I work through that? For me, it is really just like I had to hunker down and do it, right? And how do you work through a setback? Like, you keep going, right? And so the book is Leveraging Hope, and hope stands for honest observation and practical execution. And so sometimes it really is the practical next step. It really is the, what do I need to do next? Like, how do I need to move? And so it really is, for me, the biggest workaround for me is always staying in some level of motion.
Okay. I just want to break at this time and say, welcome to Word Up Wednesday. I am
Hey, friends.
talking with our friend and guest that we've had on more times than our frequent guest, but always powerful, the Reverend Dr. Joy P. Creel. Please come and say hello to us. I know it's at a different time, and in Joy's words, like people always waiting and ready. We don't know
They
whether
in
she's
here.
going to
They
show
in
up,
here.
but listen.
Listen, we see those numbers going up. Y'all say hi because your hi matters. It matters
Say
to us.
hi. Say hi to me and Dr. Joy. And go and say, if you see this, if you're going to see this on the replay, here's the other thing that I'm seeing and knowing, Dr. Joy, which is fun for me, is, I'm just kind of, okay. And folks say, I don't know what the algorithms are doing, but you popped up on my feed. And then I came on, and the person you were interviewing, I need to hear what they had to say. I only caught a few minutes. And so we take God seriously with these platforms. We don't know. I know I
Yeah,
don't. And
yeah,
so
for sure.
I just keep going. Like Joyce said, when there's a setback, when there's uncertainty, Lord, what? So she said during the setback, she just kept going. And so as you kept
Mhm.
going, how were you encouraged? How did you seek support? Or and one of your big words is accountability. How were you held accountable to this process to write a book in 10 days? How are you
One
held-
of the biggest thing for me was staying in accountability. And so when I say I wrote the book in 10 days, the process took a bit more time than that, but the meat of it was written. The chapters were done. And so when I got discouraged, because I was in accountability, I had somebody to ask, like, okay, where are we on this project? What do we need to do next? How do we need to move? What's the next steps? Right? Because people were there to be able to ask those questions. And so one thing for sure. Good morning, Sweeney. Good morning. She said, I'm watching Word Up Wednesday. We're glad that you are here. She sent
welcome,
me in
welcome.
my inbox. Good morning, good morning. um but one of the things that I had to do was say, like, I need this done. Like, I needed it finished. I needed
Mhm.
it finished, right? And so for me, like, execution is so important. Like, we get so much stuff, so much meat, so much things poured into us, but how much are we moving and how much are we executing? Do you see?
Absolutely.
And so for me, it was like I was driven by completion, right? I just wanted it done. Like, I didn't want to hang it over my head. I knew the Lord, like I had already knew the Lord had told me to do it, right?
Okay.
And so for me, that was enough to just be like, okay, I just need it done. Like, version 1 is better than version none. Let's just get it out. The first couple that came out, like, there was a couple mistakes in it. Y'all might still find a mistake there. I looked at it the other day and saw a period that needed to be somewhere. But them books is out at this point. Like, they are here, they are out. And they getting ready to go to the people that pre-ordered them. So it's just a matter. Like, so for me, it really was the need to complete. Like, I want it to be done.
And I hear that. So for someone looking and on here or finding this today and this time, talking about leveraging hope, about writing a book, because for me, I want this place to always be an encouragement from someone else's story. And that's all I've heard for forever. Since we've probably doing this 3.5 years, a long
Mhm.
time seems like. But folks are saying, I caught it. And so somebody's going to catch it when it's time to catch it. What would be your encouragement to someone um, um, on the fence about responding to God, following God's timing, doing it God's way, and doing what He's giving you to do? Whatever yours is a book, and about probably 5 or 10 other things. But uh, I encourage someone this morning about doing what God's given you to do. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think so. For me, the biggest thing is doing what God has asked you to do, right? For me, if I know if I so that if I know that it's a God thing, that does drive me. That is a driving force for me. Like, it just kind of sends me full steam ahead. And if anybody is on the fence about it, it really is seeking God and saying, okay, God, is this what you want? And so it's that Peter story that we talked about. Yes, I talked about on live yesterday, right? Peter was in the boat and he was like, hey, Lord, if it's you. And the Lord was like, all right, come to me. When we ask the Lord, he'll give us a command. Lord, is it you? Come on, Peter, get out the boat. You get what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so if you're on the fence, ask the Lord, is it you? I'm gonna use that Peter example. That was broke to me and amazingly yesterday, straight from Holy Spirit, right? Like, okay, if it's you, Lord, because he was scared. Peter was on they were all on the boat. It said they were afraid. It was a storm happening. It was dark, all these different things that was happening. And they see this man come walking on the water. Lord, if it's you, if the Lord tells you to write a book, Lord, if it's you. And then once you have the command, so like once you know that it's the Lord, I believe that there is a grace for it to happen. Again, I started a book some time ago and never finished because it wasn't something I want. The grace wasn't on it, but when the grace was on it, it moved. Now that does not mean that there were not some challenges, because when I started writing, let me tell y'all this one. When I started writing, I started doing voice notes. I got on Zoom and I was going to record my chapter, record me speaking my chapter. I did, I think, 6 of them on mute.
Oh my
So
goodness.
all you see on the Zoom is, and there was nobody on there to tell me that I was on mute. Y'all be yelling, you on mute. There was nobody to yell, you on mute.
Wow. Now
So
that'll preach. That'll preach.
Okay.
That'll preach, preacher. Wow.
So when I went back to transcribe it, there was just a video of me. Because I was speaking. I thought if I spoke it, then I could go back and transcribe it. So then I went back and I redid those chapters. I think it might have been 4. It was 4 or 6. I can't remember. I went back and redid those chapters, tried to speak through them. And then I went and transcribed that. The transcription was illegible. It was because I used a lot of filler words. So I used ums and ahs and so's, and I spoke as if I was speaking on as if I was speaking, as if I was talking, right? And so it recorded all of that. And so when the transcription came up, I was like, what is happening?
Wow.
So I got through 10 again. And then finally I said, okay, Lord, you want me to write this book? I just need you to help me with this process, because the things that, help you do stuff quick, that wasn't working for me. It didn't work for me. And so I sat down and I literally opened up my computer and typed 1 chapter per day for the next 10 days. And in 10 days, it was completed. 1 chapter a day, whatever the Lord was saying in that moment, whatever the Lord was working through. There's some moments that, because I was doing it in real time, very vulnerable things that were talked about, right? And so it was that for me. That was what had me to move on. That was what had me to move forward.
So I love when people dream and are honest enough, brave enough to dream and dream out loud with me. What is your wildest dream?
Say, what is my wildest dream
as it pertains to just this iteration in your life?
So honestly, as far as the book is concerned, I would need to sit with that and really kind of sit down and dream it, to be honest with you. Because a
off the
lot
cuff
of
your head. Off the cuff.
So I think one of the wildest things that, I don't know if it's wild, but one of the things that I would dream is that it would be in the hands of those, one, who need it, but also it would be in the hands of folks who would read it, and that it would change lives, right? I guess if I had to dream, I would dream that it would be the pathway to some next steps and some next motions. God has given me some amazing visions for daughter status and for the work that He would have me to do with leaders and different things of that nature.
Talk about, sorry, I'm keeping interrupting. Talk about daughter status, because there's some people who are going to catch this for the first time.
Right. So Daughter Status Foundation is a nonprofit organization that where we help people. We really help people to have hope, but it is all about mental health awareness and mental health awareness and wellness, and that bringing awareness to that mental space, the change space, and how we can move forward in our minds. That is pretty much where what Daughter Status is about and what we're doing. And we've done that in a lot of ways. So we've provided housing, we've provided um repairs when people needed hope to be able, because you when things are happening physically, like it's the stuff that happens in our minds, right? And that is why hope is so important. That's why we have so much despair, is because the hope is not there. The hope is not there. And so I'm excited about God giving me the vision for the Hope and Healing Center. I'm excited about that happening for people, that is going to bring some access and exposure to folks. I'm excited about the retreats and things, or events and things that God will have me to have and to host, that will not just surround the book, but also will just surround kind of like this purpose that God has on my life, which really is truly to just live out life in an authentic way. And so that would begin the dream, but I'm sure there'll be so much more.
But I love it. I love that you didn't talk about numbers. I love that you didn't talk about just stuff that's self-grandizing,
Mm-hmm.
or just, but it's the true source, and the reason for the book is I want it to be leveraged. I want God to leverage. Talk about the word leverage. Explain. And I know that sounds silly, but leveraging hope. That's the name of Dr. Joy's book.
Mm-hmm.
And Joy, I want you to put some of your how to find you in the bottom, if you can, as you're doing all this. I'm asking her to triple that. Look, really? I forgot who I'm dealing with, of course. But talk about this whole idea of leveraging.
Yeah.
That's a
So
powerful word.
it is a powerful word, right? And so even when God gave me the title, so the title actually goes against all of the mainstream ways in which I would have titled a book like this, right? Because leverage literally is talking about the power that you have. It is literally this thing
Ooh,
that we use that will help us to catapult into a new space or a next space. This book really is a manual that will help you to walk out a purpose or a calling that is on your life. That's really what it is, right? And so this idea of leveraging, of using the power that you have. And I want you to think about when you've had to move something, right? You've had to move something and you don't have quite enough strength. But if you put yourself up against something, that right there, that's hope. That you put yourself up against, that's hope. And
ooh,
that gives you the
ooh.
power. If you've ever had to push something and you leaned up against something just to give you some leverage, give you some extra hope, give you some extra oomph that you need to push through, to push over, to catapult into, that's hope. Hope is the
Wow.
thing that is behind you. And if you look at leveraging,
Ooh.
oh, period. We'll stop there. Hope is the thing that's behind you. But if you look at leveraging from the way in which if you look at leveraging from the way in which there's a lever and you have to dig into something, this becomes hope. Hope begins to be the thing that sustains the entire project. I need you to think about a seesaw, right? If you're on one side of it and you got somebody on the other side and they're down, the thing that you leverage is called a fulcrum, right? It's the thing in the middle. It's the thing that holds you. It's the thing that holds the whole balance beam together. And so when you're on one side and you got to get it down and you dig deep down into it to if you've ever been on a seesaw, the other person on the side of you is a little heavier.
And
Like
hold
you
you up
have
in the air.
absolutely. They throw you up in the air because they're leveraging the thing in the middle, right? And so when we take that into like the spiritual, like if Jesus is our hope, if Jesus
Ooh,
is in the middle, if Jesus is the very thing that holds it all together, we literally have the power to
my God.
leverage that which is going to catapult us into the next, that's going to fling us into the air, right? Or that's going to fling the other side into the air. Like we have the opportunity to leverage that thing. So leverage is about the power that you have.
But I like that you use two different examples of hope.
Mhm.
It's the thing that you can push against that
Mhm.
gives you the to go and catapult or move you forward. But
Mhm.
it's also the fulcrum. It's also the Jesus as that leveraging place to sustain the whole process.
Mhm.
Girl, come on now. What? But I love both of those pictures. I think in terms of pictures, and I love the pictures that is painting, and
Mhm.
that it is showing us. And so now I will never see a seesaw the same way. Uh, but okay, Jesus, I'm on this seesaw. Get someone heavy enough to get me up in the air. Really?
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
that whole idea of leveraging. So Joy, give me some examples from your life or from where you have had to leverage hope.
So for me, hope is a system. Hope is honest observation and practical execution. Some of the reasons that it makes it really difficult for us to get the next steps and next places is because we don't get honest with ourselves, right? So I'm gonna use a very simple example. I wanted to lose weight. At some point, it became I needed to take some weight off. I was too heavy, okay? I was a big girl, okay? So I was like, I need to take some of this weight off. But I had to get honest with I couldn't figure out why I couldn't break the plateau. And I had to get honest with myself. Like I was staying within calories. I would work out a little bit or whatever the case may be. But the other thing that I was doing was also going to McDonald's and getting those cookies. It's only one. It's only two. Because baby, those chocolate chip cookies at McDonald's had your girl in a chokehold, okay? So how did I leverage hope? I got honest with myself. Honest observation. Are you doing everything that you can? Number one. Number two, what are you putting in your mouth? Because anything that you put in your mouth, if you're trying to lose weight, it's only doing one of two things. It is either serving the goal or sabotaging the goal. There
Come
is
on.
no in between. So is it serving you or is it sabotaging you?
Come
And
on
so when
now.
I got honest with myself, right? Honest observation. And so I was like, okay, so what do I need to do? Let's talk about practical execution. I didn't get rid of the cookies all at once because I liked the cookies, okay? I liked them. They were delicious. But I was like, okay, I'm going to not go every day. Then it was, okay, I'm not going to go every other day. Okay. And because I got to be honest with myself, a cold turkey stop, I probably could have done a cold turkey stop, but then at some point it would have come back.
Mhm.
But then when it was like, okay, I'm only going to go on Sundays or I'm only going to go on Saturday. And if I miss my Saturday, I can't be like, oh, I'm trading my day. No. I'm going to go on Saturdays. And then it just became, I can't tell you the last time I had a McDonald's chocolate chip cookie
Wow.
because I slowly took it. For me, I had to do the slow thing, right? Honest observation. I know me. I don't do good with the cold turkey. I'm just going to eat ice for the next 10 weeks. That's not going to work for me. That's not going to work for me. But what I can do is so if I tell myself I can drink whatever I want to drink, as long as I drink my allotted water first. Maybe by the time you get the water in, you don't want nothing else to drink. Right? By the time I get to 64 ounces of water in, baby, who wants something to drink? Not me. Like I am done. But so honest, so that's the practical execution, right? So the practical execution for me is, yeah, you can have it after you do this. Practical steps, small things that get us to the goal. So that's just
Absolutely.
one very simple way that I leveraged hope, and that was me leveraging hope. That was the power that I had. To get to the step. And so within a week, it broke the plateau. It broke the weight plateau. And then I was able to, kind of do the next things. And then so when you leverage hope, one of the things that happens, excuse me, one of the things that happens is that we have the ability to reach goals and reach outcomes, right? Even when the outcome doesn't look like what we think it should look like. You can lose 25 pounds in a week. Okay. Then gain 30 the next week. Nah, I'm not here for that. slow and steady. So in the event that I do fall off, if I do fall off, it's it doesn't kill the progress, but it is my job to get back on track. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We are nearing the end of our time.
Mhm.
So I want to make sure we go with our announcement. So talk to people how they can get your book.
Listen, guys, if you listen, you can go to leveraginghope.com and get the book. It is I'm excited. I am so excited about what God is doing in this season, what God has already done in the season, because the book is out and it is available for your purchase. You can go to leveraginghope.com to pick up your signed copy. I was made aware that it was still open. I thought we had closed it off, and just that you were going to be able to get it from straight from Amazon or from Barnes and Noble or whatever, but you can get it from any of those spaces as well. But it is more beneficial if you get it from me, and it's cheaper if you get it from me. So, by all means, do what you need to do.
Okay.
But go to leveraginghope.com to know more about the book. Really, it is about your path to purpose, beginning with honest observation and practical execution. So if you're on a purpose journey, if you're looking for purpose, if you're trying to figure out purpose, the world has made this idea of purpose so elusive. And one of the first things that God did for me in this book was define purpose. And what he said was, it's not so much that you haven't even reached purpose, because there's a lot of people who are living in purpose, but because it hasn't been defined, it's like, oh, I got to figure out what my purpose is. You live in it.
You
You're
live
living
in
it.
it. I love it. I
So I
love it.
can't wait until you do that. So leveraginghope.com to pick up the book. I'm excited. I'm very excited about that. And
No, I
then
can't tell. I can't tell.
listen. Well, look, it's done now. We out here now, like Peter on the water. We out here now. So
And
let's
the
talk about
second
it.
thing is,
What-
um,
There's
go
gonna be a
ahead.
book signing, guys. There's gonna be a book signing. So Justine has swooped in and has so graciously booked me for a book signing in Jacksonville, Florida. Florida, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming, Florida. I'm coming. I'm excited, and I will
So
be there in November. Well,
yes. So
this
here's
month, in a few
yes.
weeks.
That's it. In 2 weeks. So here's what 2 weeks. Here's what I need for you to do. I need you. So as soon as we get the venue and the specific date and time, follow us on Joy's pages, my pages, because we're going to come to you live and we're going to do an open invitation and show you how you can RSVP. And I would love for you to already have your book. You can be able to get the books at the book signing as well.
Yes.
And she'll sign them there. But come, it is going to be a party. This is her first book signing. And I'm thinking, did I just say we're going to do a book signing, Joy? Woo! I call about one thing, but that's how God works. And so it doesn't take him long. And so we're going to get this done. So Joy, we're going to host Joy for her first ever book signing for Leveraging Hope in Jacksonville, Florida, coming to you live.
We're coming to see you, Jacksonville. We're coming to see you. I'm excited. I'm excited. I already have my ticket, actually. So look, it's happening. It's happening in real life. And I listen, y'all. I just turned 40. So I was author before I turned 40. That's exciting times. But also, Ann, I just turned 40 and I like a good party. So listen, wherever I am, there is joy and there is a party. So come party with me in Jacksonville, y'all. Let's come see me. Come see me in Jacksonville. I'm excited about what God is doing. And so mark your calendars for a tentative
It's
save the
going to be
date.
20 or 21st of November. It's going to be Saturday or Sunday.
The 23rd,
We're
right?
going to
The Saturday?
the Saturday.
The Saturday is the 23rd. The 23rd or
The
the
23rd.
24th.
Okay, the 23rd, the 23rd,
The
23rd.
23rd or the 24th. So y'all get
So
ready.
look for,
Mark your
we're going to
calendars.
tell
I'm
you.
there that weekend.
Yes. And
I'm
so
excited.
look, and you're going to hear about it in the next couple of days because we just talked about we just made the arrangements last night. We just agreed. We just signed the artist last night. The author just signed last night. So, so hey. Woo!
He is Lena. Lena said, God is good. Isn't he though? Like,
Come
isn't that
on.
just like him? He is good
He,
and he is faithful. He is faithful.
he is. He
Um,
is. Hi, Lena. Hi, Lena. And so we're going to pass the word. And so we're looking forward to it. A great time. And it is always about revelation. It is always about
mhm.
God showing and opening life to us to show us a deeper meaning and level in Him. So I'm excited about the revelatory power of God and how He's going to use leveraging hope to show us even more great truths and even more great openings into who He is. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, with that, we're going to say until next time, and come see Dr. Joy in Jacksonville, Florida on November 22nd or 23rd. Go to our pages,
23rd and 24th, y'all. 23rd and
23rd,
24th.
24th. What did I say? 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Okay. And we're going to put it up all the places. And so, if you can hear me keep saying the wrong thing, 23rd or 24th. It's that Saturday or that Sunday. And come join us because it's going to be all the way live. And until next time, you've been with Justine Conley for Journey with Justine, and you've been with Dr. Joy P. Creel, and we are getting ready for her book signing in Jacksonville, Florida, for the book Leveraging Hope. It is November 23rd or 24th. You will get to hear more, and I'm excited to be a catalyst for what God is doing and being a conduit. And so, blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you for joining us for Word Up Wednesday. Please let us know if you catch this on the replay. We came a little bit a different time this morning, but it is always live. It's always going to be live, even if it's a replay live. So thank you. I love you, and know that God loves you, and know that you are a blessing. So go and be blessed, and go and be a blessing. And I will see you next time.